Yup, they got him. After what felt like an ungodly amount of time, LAPD finally has arrested David, D4VD, and today he has finally been charged of first-degree murder with some additional charges that may include continuous sexual abuse of a child, murder, murder for financial gain, murder to prevent testimony, murder by lying in wait, use of a deadly weapon, and mutilation of human remains. What a sick fuck. So, if you guys are new to the channel, back then I did make a video when the situation was still fresh. It was like about 7 to 8 months ago, and when the whole situation about him being caught, like he wasn't even arrested at the time either. I'm pretty sure he was on tour, right? So, you know, if you want to get some more information, some more clarity on what was going on, I say you guys go check out that video if you like. But if you don't want to do that, I understand. So I'll give you a quick summarization of what the situation is, right? So David Anthony Burke, that's his real name, but he went by the stage name D4VD. He is a singer, right? And you know, he got popular within like the past like 5 years. You know, he was dropping hits. I wasn't really an avid listener of this nigga, but you know, he dropped some good songs, right? And recently it was discovered like early September that an abandoned Tesla was found, but you know, niggas didn't check it or nothing. They just towed it, and they noticed that there was a foul smell coming out of it. And you know, once they actually investigated that Tesla, come to find out there's a whole rotten corpse in there. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I should be using the word whole lightly. The body was chopped up, you know what I'm saying? Like it was chopped up into pieces and stuff like that. And you know, when they try to link who that Tesla was registered to, it was registered to David, which is already strange enough, because why would you want to abandon a Tesla? That's not something that niggas would just abandon like that. It's a Tesla, you know what I'm saying? It's not a freaking 1980 Toyota, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, this was already looking bad, but people were speculating that it can't be him because the whole time this was happening, he was on tour. But considering how bad the body was, this was clearly done way before he was on tour. But they were able to identify the body as Celeste. She was 14 at the time that her body was found. Well, would have been 14 considering how long she would have been dead for, right? And it gets even crazier because people start digging into David's backstory, like his history and stuff like that, and start seeing photos, streams, videos of him being with Celeste. And, you know, I don't know how he has gotten away with this for so long, because he's basically been doing this for like the past 2 to 3 years. People even speculated that he's known her since she was about 11 or 12 years old, and that is scary. Mind you, this nigga's the same age as me. He's 21 years old, and like it's kind of wild because he was very open with this. The cards were in his favor for a scary amount of time, dude. Like years in the making. Like hell, like the research has gotten so bad, like there's even a situation of another girl named Celeste, which is already crazy. I think Celeste as a name is already so unique. So the fact that this guy David was hanging out with 2 light-skinned girls, curly-headed light-skinned girls, both named Celeste, is already kind of crazy. But either way, like people were able to dig to this shit, and people found him, you know, trying to pay off her classmates. People caught him on streams together. Even Celeste himself kind of called him out for being a PDF. And, you know, it's kind of crazy because it's weird. There's screenshots of Discord messages. Someone even posted a whole chart of interactions or some things mentioning Celeste. So it's like, how did he get away with this for so long? I don't know if it's because, like, I don't know what it is. Pretty privilege or something. I don't understand how one person is able to get away with something that has been literally, like, I don't even want to say under our noses. It's just like it's been right in front of us this whole time, but nobody has called it out. Now, me personally, I didn't really care for David. Like, I knew who he was, but I don't really pay attention to what celebrities do outside of their, you know, profession and stuff like that. Like, if I see a singer and the singer's cool, okay, cool, but I'm only really going to be there to sing, not to sing, but to listen to their songs. I'm not really looking into what they do outside of that. But if I was to do that way back then, I feel like I would have done whatever I could to call that shit out, because I feel like everybody that saw those types of things should have called that out until everybody knew that shit, because that's not okay. I don't know how we let niggas like that get away with it for so long. Now, of course, ever since then, David has not been posting, and you know, his follower count was going down really slowly. I'm pretty sure last time I checked, he was still at like 2 million when I first talked about the situation. Now he's at like 1.8 million followers on Instagram. So it's like the following is slow. But now the investigation has gone on for a really long time, pretty much 7 months, like I mentioned. And the question has been asked, how has he not been, caught for this? And I was looking into some research, and it turns out like one of the main reasons is because they're still trying to determine the cause of death. And it's like, you know what? Sure, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a police officer. I'm not an investigator. I don't do all them forensics and shit like that. So I'm not really the one to judge about how long it takes to do these things. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't know if they are most likely looking more onto the murder than they are, with the PDF stuff, because I mean he's both a murderer and a pedophile. Like, that is crazy. But considering that a literal human life was lost, obviously I would think that investigators will look more into that than his sexual relationship with a minor. So I don't know. I feel like they should have booked him with the what we saw first, the whole relationship. But, if they charge him for both, then, hey, fuck it, dude. Which they should anyway. And, once they did that, there's a video that I'm going to show you about why he could have done it. Because, once again, the way they're saying it, it's basically all alleged. We don't have a full hearing yet. You know what I'm saying? He did just get charged today. And we're not going to hear anything until the next few days from his lawyer talking about we're going to get like a full hearing from this nigga. Because he's pleading not guilty, which is already kind of crazy. Like, dude, there's nothing like in your favor at the moment. You're kind of getting fried.
Today, I am announcing the charges against David Anthony Burke, the musician known as David, spelled D4VD, in connection with the brutal and horrific murder of Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time. And there are 3 sets of charges that have been brought. The first-degree murder with special circumstances, and again, those special circumstances are lying in wait. That Celeste went to Mr. Burke's home on the night of April 23rd, 2025, as alleged in the complaint, at his invitation, and again, was not heard from again. The second is a special circumstance being that this murder was committed for financial gain. As the evidence will show in court, the financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative musical career that Celeste was threatening on that particular night. The third charge, in addition to lying in wait and for financial gain, is murdering a witness to an investigation. In this particular case, as the evidence will come out in court, the witness to the investigation was Celeste. And the investigation was into the lewd and lascivious sexual acts committed by Mr. Burke that is the subject of count 2 of this complaint with Celeste while she was under 14 years old. The investigation was to determine who killed, who murdered Celeste months and months before. That investigation was carried out in unison and in partnership between the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division and the District Attorney's Office. At every point in the investigation, through the arrest and the filing of charges, the LAPD and the District Attorney's Office have worked in lockstep. There's been no disagreements amongst these entities in deciding how to proceed with this case, ultimately leading to these charges today.
From the media reports, apparently there have been 4 months of secret grand jury proceedings. We believe that Mr. Burke is entitled at the earliest opportunity to an open preliminary hearing and the proceedings not be done in secret. So we are asking for a preliminary hearing to be set at the earliest possible date on the 10th date. Your Honor, we believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, nor was he the cause of her death. And we would like to be able to have the evidence come into the light of day at the earliest opportunity in order to establish that. We're asking for April 23rd as a 3 of 10 juror.
Anything from the people?
We'll be very happy to put on the evidence that we've collected in this case over the last several months.
Thank you. So the matter.
You know, the lawyer's a really goofy individual. I don't get it, man. Like, even if David didn't do the murder, which I know he did. Like, I think everybody is confident that he did it, right? Why do you still think he could get away? Or like, are you gonna prove the fact that he's not a pedophile either? I mean, dude, we saw it. People are speculating that other Celeste is a cover-up. Like, he's still a pedophile, bro. That's still illegal. That's still a crime. Book him. Book him. He's having relations with this girl that no grown-ass man should have been having in the first place. No grown adult should be having with a minor. So, like, you know he's cooked. You're just doing this to get your paycheck, which obviously. But it's like, why are lawyers even doing this shit in the first place, man? And you just see David standing back there, like, thinking, like, David knows he's screwed. Like, he knows he's screwed, but he's trying to salvage everything he can get, bro. So here's the screenshot, and you know, it's pretty tragic. I did not know David was 5'5", 125 pounds. That is tragic. Oh my god, bro. This what bitches be simping for, bro. Man, this shit should have been easy for me from the very beginning, man. I must be doing something wrong, man. 5'5" is devastating. They are going to use that man like a fleshlight. I'm actually he's actually cooked. He's actually cooked in prison. He's done for. He's done. His life is genuinely over. It's so over for this man. You know, once we hear the hearing, you know, we still don't know what like the intentions. Once again, it is alleged that she threatened his music career, you know, coming out saying that he would call him out, which, you know, that's probably a very likely thing because, you know, she did call that shit out in a stream. So who knows? Maybe that's actually what could have happened. You know, they was able to put those two together. But until then, it is basically alleged on why he did it. So we're not going to know anything until then. So it's still just speculation. But he has been charged. Justice is being served. That motherfucker is guilty. And, you know, rest in peace, Celeste. And, you know, we still also have to hold accountable the people that were in the circle too. Because Celeste has been known to go missing before. I'm pretty sure it was either because of David or not because of David, but she has been missing before prior to her death. And I guess nobody questioned it because it was just that much of a regular occurrence. I don't know how, and I'm pretty sure like there was even people in her circle that was trying to help her not be in the situation with David, and David has paid off jits. He's been seen allegedly paying off jits to keep it silent. A lot of people in Celeste's circle failed her as well. It's not just David. A lot of people like in the circle failed her. They weren't able to stop. They chose not to stop. Not that they weren't able to. It's just that they chose not to really do anything about it. The parents, at least the mother, she did know that she was in a relationship. I don't know if she knew that it was David himself or she just chose to ignore what it is. She probably just thought it's some regular high school guy. I'm not entirely sure. Most of that information hasn't came out either, but at least from what we could hear, allegedly everybody in that circle, everybody in the community has failed her, and it's just sad to see. Like we gotta stick up for each other, man. We gotta be close with each other. You know, we're all a community, we're all a circle. We need to be looking out for one another. We can't be having, because if we're just ignorant of things, bro, this is how things happen, because by then it will just be too late. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs to be responsible, and you need to make sure that you tell your folks what's right and what's wrong, or else it'll be too late, and you could end up seeing this terrible situation that you mentally wouldn't want to go through. But yeah, so that's all I got for today. What a sick fuck, you know what I'm saying? What a sick fuck. I really do hope this nigga gets the book, and you know, I really hope they freaking gape that nigga, bro, once he gets in prison, bro. 5'5" is crazy. Stay safe out there.